and so on. Education is a very part of the development of the human being, and one of the institutions in this country that does a very good job of doing that is Galen University. And in the studio with me this morning is Dr. Dorian Barrow, who's Dean of the Faculty of Education. Good morning, sir.
Well, good morning, Mr. Ernesto Vasquez. It's always a pleasure to be here at Love, and especially to be on this side of the couch with you on the other side.
It's always an honor to have you here, obviously. You want to talk this morning about the Master of Education.
Well, that is what we want to talk about ultimately, but we want to situate it in the context of transforming the education workforce, and how this master's degree, this ministry-approved master's degree in educational leadership that Galen University is offering is going to help to advance that agenda. As you know, Ernesto, Belize is not on track. We are not on track of achieving the Sustainable Development Goal number 4. The Sustainable Development Goal, there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals that the country has signed on to, and goal number 4 is on education.
Okay.
And the push on that goal has to do with getting preschool age students enrolled. We want 100% preschool age students enrolled. But we are still, there are about, according to the World Bank report, there are about 24,000 or so preschool and high school students who should be in school that are not in school. All right, so that is one issue. The other issue, and I think it's even more concerning, is that of the ones that are in school, right, the ones that are in preschool, primary school, secondary school, about 60,000 of them, right, are not learning the skills, the knowledge, and especially the values, the skills, the knowledge, and especially the values that are required for now and for the future, right? Okay. We're in a transitional time. Okay. The Ministry of Education have introduced a term that I think we really have to begin to take seriously. It's called the 4IR, 4IR, and what it means is the fourth industrial revolution. And I think that Dr. Louis Zabané, the Deputy Minister, who is an economist par excellence himself, have probably introduced this in the dialogue. But that is what essentially captures the time that we are living in, right? The time that we are living in. The fourth industrial revolution. It's a term that was coined by Klaus Schwab in 2016. Klaus Schwab, as you know, is the founder of the World Economic Forum. And he's saying that this is the age that we are living in now that has to do with the internet, that has to do with digital expertise, right? And that has to do with sustainability, right? So what we have in Belize, as I was saying, is that we have problems with our teachers, and we have to admit, as the World Bank report have just recently indicated, that the teachers are the most important determinant in this whole process, right? But we have schools that have bright children. We have schools that have very good teachers that are not being adequately led, right? So in addition to there being a teacher crisis in the country, there is also a school leadership crisis in the education workforce.
You know, by the way, I just want to inform our listeners and viewers that joining us via Zoom in a few months will be Dr. Aline Harrison.
Dr. Aline Harrison. Yes.
Aline Harrison will be joining us. But in the meantime, you said a mouthful because we hear changes, we hear about STEM.
Yes.
How does STEM fit into this picture? We've heard over the years that our literacy rate has dropped. And these are all results of what you're saying, that we need to change the way we do things and how do we need to change the way how we educate our young people? The approach has to change because of the new generation?
Yes, we must. It's an imperative. It's an imperative, all right? But it needs to start from the top, right? It needs to start from the top. And that is essentially what this master's degree program in education and leadership is all about. We have put together a program. It took us about 2.5 years to put this program together. That is responding to this call from the ministry for modernization of the education system and for a transformation of the entire education workforce.
That sounds like a big task. Though. I mean,
it is a huge task.
Old dog new tricks.
Well, old dogs have been known to learn new tricks if they're placed in the proper environment, right? If they're provided with the proper stimulus and that kind of thing. And that is essentially what this program is in fact trying to do. One of the things that this new dispensation is putting pressures on school leaders is with how they manage schools, particularly in how they plan, right? How they plan. Mm-hmm. Because of the digital dimension to the age that we're living in, right? A lot of data is being made available to school leaders in real time, right? And you have to be able to process that data, right? Effectively and efficiently so that you can make the best possible decisions on what's going on. You can't wait until the end of the semester or wait until the end of the year to process the data. The data is here and now, right? You have a class of 30 students, right? And the data is saying that 20 of these students are failing this course, right? The leader have access to that data right now, and the leader has to be able to process that information and do whatever intervention they need to do now so that by the end of the semester, by the end of the term, we don't have that kind of calamity where 2/3 of the students have failed, right? So they have to get in there and find out what is the problem. Is it a student problem? Is it the resource problem? Or is it a teaching problem, right? Because sometimes it is also a teaching problem. So this is what this program is trying to do, to provide school leaders with these kinds of skills.
I think Dr. Harrison is online via Zoom.
Beautiful. So Dr. Harrison is the coordinator of this master's degree program in education leadership, and she would be able to provide the details of the program in terms of the courses and what we're trying to do via these courses in order to achieve the goals that I just spoke
Dr.
about.
Harrison, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for jumping in when we needed you. That shows that you're always prepared.
Thank you too.
This Master in Education Leadership Program, if it says master's, means I have to have a bachelor's or some kind of previous degree. Who is it targeting? Because I'm speaking here with Dr. Barrow, and we need to, I guess, revamp or redo or refurbish, whatever you want to call it, the way we teach the students. We have thousands of teachers out there who need to be retrained. Who is this master's targeting at this point in time?
Yeah, at this point, this master's program is a 2-year program that for now is targeting school leaders at the secondary level.
Okay.
It is designed for teachers, potential school leaders in positions right now that don't have a master's degree or don't have the educational leadership training.
Okay.
So principals, vice principals, heads of department at the secondary level. We do plan in the very near future to offer a similar program for primary educational teachers as well, teachers at the primary level. But for now, this 2-year program is aimed at closing the gap in educational access. We know that many of our students have experienced some form of trauma. And so this program uses a set of teaching approaches that considers the broader impact of trauma and the potential path to resiliency. So it's based on the assumption that this program is going to be a key component of fostering equitable learning environment. So we are, the program, as Dr. Barrow rightly said, it took us like 2.5 years to get it to the stage it is now. It's just ready to be implemented. And it was developed using a trauma-informed pedagogy as a framework. So we are hoping that our school leaders will use this trauma-informed lens when approaching organizational change, for example.
What did Dr. Barrow said it took about 2 years to put this together. So obviously you had to do a lot of research and what the demand is. It's basically like you're selling a product to a market that has to suit that market.
That's right. So you have to develop the product to respond to that need.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Is it because we are dealing now with a new generation? You know, we are saying now that the new generation, especially the ones that were born at the turn of the century, 24 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, are living in a different world, a world of technology. I think you mentioned that about technology and so on. Are these areas that you have to consider when you're putting this together now? That it's not like when you and I went to school. You know, it's a totally different world out there. What makes this program so much different from what we learned 20, 30 years ago? Are you dealing more, say, with soft skills as versus hard skills? Dr. Aline?
To me or Dr. Barrow?
No, to yourself.
To me? Oh, okay. This program hopes to cultivate educational leaders who need that additional help in developing and implementing shared visions, because that's part of the trauma-informed pedagogy. All stakeholders are part of the teaching and learning experience. And by school leaders understanding and applying trauma-informed principles, they will create a more equitable environment for our students who are at risk, for students who are at risk of being left behind. So we are hoping that this program, one of our goals is that we are going to be able to develop in these leaders the the type of skills and changing of mindset as they foster environments of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
You've been
So-
using
I'm sorry, go ahead.
you've been using the word trauma.
Yes.
And trauma, we associate it with a medical result. You end up in the trauma center at the hospital because you went through an emergency or something that affects you. Are you saying that today's students, a lot of them are affected by our environment that's causing this trauma, Dr. Barrow?
Some of them, Rene, are experiencing it every day.
Yes.
I remember speaking to the principal of Mad Williams High School, Mrs. Deborah Domingo, and she was telling me she's the principal of the Southside High School, right? Where the kids coming to school, right, have to negotiate which street they're gonna walk in order to get to the school. And once they arrive at the school, there's this sense of relief. This is a safe place for them, right? As the day progresses and it's time to go home, you see them begin to wind up again. They have to begin to figure out, how am I going to get home and get home safely? Sometimes they come from homes that are not the best possible homes, that are traumatizing them. They come from communities, right? They come from communities. I am from the South Side myself. I still have my family home there, and in the neighborhood, George Street and Rocky Road, I still go there and I try and provide some support. There was one student I was supporting who was going to Excelsior High School, right? And I went in the neighborhood and I saw him not in school during a school day. And I asked him, well, what's going on? And he was telling me that, oh, well, he had to stop school. He had to stop school. And I said, why? Because his school, to get to his school, he has to pass through a place called Kral Road. And the gangs there, the people there are telling him, well, look, you are from this side of town, right?
No business wrong here.
We don't want to see you wrong here, right? We don't want to see you wrong here. And so he had to just stop. So this program is trying to provide the school leaders, right? And the school leaders are not just the principals and the vice principals and the department heads, but it's also the teachers who are classroom leaders, to provide them with the skills and the competencies in order to deal with those students who experience trauma on an unprecedented level on a daily basis.
But how, Dr. Aline, how would you describe that this training is going to filter down to those teachers who are dealing with these students directly? Because I suspect those who are going to take this first training or this master's degree are already higher up in the strata of educators. They are not the hands-on people. But is it that you hope that you're training trainers to train?
Well, the only requirement for this program, right? And we are hoping that a lot of those kinds of teachers come.
Okay.
The only requirement for this program is that you have a first degree, and that you're in possession of a license to teach at the secondary level. So you can be teaching there for a year, for 5 years. You could be a department head. You could be a vice principal or a principal, right? Any of you would be eligible for this particular program.
Because if you're already teaching at the secondary level, you already should have a first degree.
Yes, you need to have one. A first degree in order to get a license.
And by a first degree, we're talking about bachelor's.
A bachelor's degree,
yes. That's right. So they're already there.
Yes.
Okay, how to take advantage of this now? I suspect a lot will be done online and so on. Is that?
Well, Dr. Harrison could talk a little more about it.
The program consists of 13 courses, 39 credits. It's a 39 credit master's degree, which is an average of what many master's degrees consist of. 5 of the courses in this program are directly advanced leadership content courses. We also have courses such as, with names such as Managing Trauma in Diverse Schools and Classrooms, Assessment of Learning Outcomes in Diverse Classrooms, Unconditional Positive Regard for Diverse and Special Needs Learners. Now, these are just some of the courses. So it's out. The 13 courses comprises of 5 courses that are specifically in educational leadership content. The courses combine theory and application. So the program is set out that while you're taking these courses, there are tasks that need to be conducted in the classroom. So you're not just learning theory, but you're learning theory and you're also applying the theory at the same time. So there's this emphasis on current theory and research that will help to inform these educational leaders and potential educational leaders, because as Dr. Barrow said, it's not just for school principals, vice principals, but for any teacher at the secondary level, particularly if they have aspirations to be a principal, a vice principal, or a head of department, for example.
Okay.
But all teachers will be able to benefit from this program. The program is offered online in the evenings. In a few instances, they might maybe have to come together once or twice a semester on, in a convenient agreed day, more than likely the weekend. So you could be working and you could also be gaining your master's degree from Galen University.
Right. You mentioned earlier, Dr. Barrow, that this is government sanctioned and approved.
Yes, yes.
What other motivators are in place for here? Are there any scholarships offered, or if any teachers within the system do get this master's, will this enhance your career and so on?
Well, we at Galen believe that that we can work collaboratively with the Ministry of Education in order to address some of the urgent education challenges and leverage these opportunities for change by embracing 3 things. 1, we work with the government in order to try and strengthen the existing system. 2, developing learning teams, and most importantly, in trying to transforming the education system from what it is now, an education system, into what we think it needs to become, a learning system, right? This program have been developed at a relatively low cost, right? Yeah. We have scheduled it so that you could keep your job and do the program in the evening, right? You can do this program, right, over 2 years, right, for a total of about $18,000 or $19,000, right? Okay. Which is cheap.
That is.
Which is cheap compared for a master's degree program, right? The people that we have teaching in this program, because it's an online program, we can get expertise from all over the world, right? So there will be some local people teaching, There'll be some people who are situated in other parts of the world with the necessary expertise, right?
Okay.
It is approved by the Ministry of Education, which means that you could use this degree in order to apply for any leadership position in the secondary school system in the country, right? And you would have met that requirement for a leadership position, right? A lot of people have only been able to hold on to these positions on a temporary basis because they don't have the necessary training. This particular course gives you the training and the recognition by the Ministry of Education in order to apply and secure any of those positions, right? So we think that one, it's low cost, two, the convenient way in which it is being offered, right? And three, the fact that it is recognized by the Ministry of Education as the standard, the criteria for any leadership position, is sufficient incentive for anybody, right, who wants to meaningfully participate in the transformation of the education workforce in Belize to really embrace it.
After saying all that, we're not saying that you have to be a teacher, you have to be in a school system or anything. You can be somebody who wants a career in teaching, wants a career in leadership, in education, can take this course.
That's right. As long as you have a first degree, right, and you are qualified to function at the secondary school level.
Yeah. And they can register?
Yes. Now, to apply for the course, an application is now open. To apply for the course, you could apply online, right? Just go to the Galen website and apply for the course. Or if you need assistance, you can just get in contact with our marketing division's application section, and our application person, Ms. Kimaro Gonzalez, is going to walk you through the process. It's an easy 1, 2, 3 step in terms of accessing this program.
Dr. Aline, any last words from you before you leave us?
Yes, I would, I'm greatly encouraging our secondary school teachers to take advantage of this program that has been designed and developed with in a Belizean context, specifically looking at our cultural, historical types of trauma, not just in terms of trauma that comes from, let's say, sexual abuse or domestic violence, but looking as well at our historical, cultural causes of trauma. The program has been designed, developed, so that teachers can continue to work and at the same time gain a master's degree from Galen University. So I strongly encourage all teachers to take advantage of this program that is being offered here at home at convenient times, and that will also empower you to be able to consider the broader impacts of trauma and to be able to gain the knowledge and skills of this approach, the trauma-informed pedagogy approach.
Well, Dr. Dorian Barrow, Dr. Aline Harrison, thank you for coming in this morning and educating us